I forgot my tea again. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel La Fraise. I'm Noémie, I'm a student in costume making in Brussels, and this week I am doing a little challenge, which is how much can I sew in a week. I wanted to do this challenge because I don't have any classes between Monday and Friday, so I have the 5 days free, and then I do have class all day on Saturday. But having this Monday to Friday period really reminded me when I was working full-time and I would have a week off, and I would see it as this bunch of time where I can do all of my sewing, because I really struggled sewing after the work day, so I would tend to sew more like intensely on Sunday and then during the holidays and not so much during the week. So I just wanted to do a fun challenge. Now I would like to say lots of caveats, which are: sewing is not about how much you produce. This is not a challenge of how much you can make. Well, this is a challenge of how much I can make, but sewing in general is not about who produces the most. I've just seen on the Discord, one of you guys made a beautiful green jacket with the gold buttons, you know who you are. And I think taking your time to do something absolutely beautiful that you're going to be super happy with is extremely valuable. So this video is just for fun. It's not to encourage you to sew as much as possible. And even though I'm going to try to sew as much as possible, I'm not going to compromise on quality, because that's not what this is all about. So I wanted to kind of put this big caveat at the start. Yes, I'm going to try to sew as much as I can. It's for fun, it's for a video. It's not how I recommend everyone should sew, and it's not that I think that your value depends on your output. Now, this is taking into account that even though I don't have classes during the week, I do have a dog that needs walking and that needs taking care of, and I have a body that needs moving and taking care of, and I have dance classes quite a few evenings during the week. So I kind of picture there's going to be daytime sewing mostly, and so it's not going to be all out. No matter what happens, I'm going to keep sewing. Like, I have a lunch. I actually have my goodbye lunch at my old work. I finished working there a little while ago, but took some time to organize my goodbye lunch. So there are live stuff that are going to mean that yes, I'm probably not going to sew as much as I could in a vacuum, in a world where I don't need to do anything else, but I am going to keep taking care of my dog and of myself. So that, just wanted to say that a bit as a caveat. Like, I'm not going to go no life on this, and I am going to keep basic maintenance going on. So now that we've talked about all the caveats, here's everything I would like to sew this week. This is a fairly ambitious list. I don't plan being able to get to everything, but just so that everything is mentioned, this is everything I'm hoping to get done. And technically, if I spend about a day on each thing, it would be possible. I'll tell you the like dream scenario, but I am giving myself a lot of grace, basically. I think on day one, I would like to start with all of my small projects, because I think it would be very motivating to start with ticking a lot of things. So I have a bit of mending to do. I'm looking at my pile there. I have a tiny bit of mending to do. A dress that just needs a seam redone. Francesca has a pair of pants that need the elastic changed. And then I also want to add poppers on my bed sheets, because I now have a popper pliers, tweezers, tool. I have the tool to put poppers with, and I have poppers, so I'm going to put poppers on my bed sheet. And the actual sewing that would happen on that day is to do my gingham top, which comes from my gingham dress that has been cut and repurposed. So that would be day one. Day two, I would like to do the toile for the wedding dress I'm sewing for a friend. This is a video you won't see before July, so don't hold your breath. And also, it's not a wedding dress, it's the day before the wedding dress, but it is a white dress that I'm making for her. So there's that, that's day two. Day three, I would like to do my patina blouse. This blouse has been in my project videos for like 3 videos in a row now, and I have this project cut for so long now. So I absolutely want to get that off my list. I'm sick of that fabric looking at me judgingly. So I would like to get to the patina blouse. I would like to sew shirt number 4. I have done this for shirt number 2 and shirt number 3. Panic sew them at the last minute. I was until yesterday night 11 p.m. sewing the buttons on this one. and it's the last minute before the video goes out, so I absolutely don't want to have this happen with shirt number 4, and I'm going to try to sew it as early as possible to not be in a rush. And then for day number 5, and that's probably where realistically day number 5 I'm going to be finishing whatever I haven't finished in order the list I already mentioned, because for example shirt number 4 I still need to stick the pattern together, trace and cut, and so I mean, you know, that's more job than just sewing the shirt. So realistically, I think if I already get to all of this, it's going to be quite impressive. But I would also like, if there's time, to sew a sewing bag for myself. So I have a sewing box I'm taking to school that fits perfectly into the bottom of my school bag. But the issue is that it takes so much space, it's actually not so full. And if I want to add my lunchbox, a box with some soup, all the calico we need to take for the quite voluminous project we have, I can't shut my bag anymore. So I have this massive bag, and then I also have a tote bag for all of my calico, and it's just a bit much, and I feel like I could make my sewing kit so much smaller if it was in a box that's more like a pencil case type of thing. Here is the proper sewing box that's you know, it doesn't collapse in my bag. I would like to make this. I really wanted to have it for my class on Saturday, but I'm already kind of preparing myself that it's going to be hard to make it happen, because I want to draft my own pattern for this. I want to plan for the pockets I need specifically. I want the specific pockets to put my shears in, but my shears are super big, so I need to see if it makes sense to have the shears in the box. In any case, it's quite a lot of thinking. It's not only sewing the pouch, which would be fine in a few hours of work, but it's all the thinking of the pattern making and everything. And also I would want to make probably a tutorial of it, so then it means also filming, which makes the sewing a lot slower. So I think that's probably a bit ambitious, but this is everything I'm hoping to get to this week. So let's see how I do, and without further ado, let's get sewing. I really want to procrastinate. I am going to empty the dishwasher, then I'm going to maybe spend half an hour editing next week's video. So it's already passed for you guys, it's the one about bra making. So yeah, maybe we're gonna start with a bit of procrastination and then start sewing. I swear that having a clean kitchen is easing my mind and helping me to get to sewing already. Tidy space, tiny minds. Hey guys, we thought it was time to give you a little update. Huh? We're ready to give them an update? Sorry, I really have to laugh having him just there. It's very distracting seeing him in the viewfinder. Okay, the day started very differently than what I intended it to. I was pretty stressed with admin stuff, and it was just like admin-y, and then roller coaster of emotion. I got contacted for a work thing, and obviously it's super early days, and they were like, don't get excited, because I think they know my personality, and I was like, I'm not getting excited. Very much getting excited, but you know, we'll see how it goes. But so I was a bit frazzled with all that this morning, and then the judgy corgi behind me. I was a little bit frazzled. Then I started sewing, and I fixed Francesca's pants. She has those pants that are from Armed Angels. The elastic was starting to get a little bit weak, and so they weren't super comfortable to wear anymore, because she just felt like the pants were not being held properly. So I just bought a new elastic that was still with lots of strength in it, and I just swapped the elastic inside the casing, so she was really happy with that. And then I fixed a ready-to-wear dress that we have. This is my funeral dress, fun times, and this is a dress that Francesca wears to most of her choir concerts because they need to be in black. It had a little hole in the back, a dress made with French seams, very uncommon for ready-to-wear. I had never really noticed, because when I bought that dress, it was back in the days I had no clue what was what. So in any case, I fixed that dress. And then I made the gingham top that has been salvaged from my gingham dress, RIP gingham dress. The gingham dress got worn 4 times. So I wore the dress 4 times and then decided that it needed to be repurposed. I recouped all of the skirt. The top was really unsalvageable. I recouped all of the skirt, and to keep as much length as possible, and you're gonna see it's still quite short, I kept the original hem, and I did French seams on it. And because it's a double gauze with a very, very loose weave, I did French seams, but what I did is that I did the first pass and then I zigzagged the inner seams and then I finished the French seam, so it should be very, very sturdy, hopefully. I really hope that it's going to work nicely. And yeah, anything else about this dress? This is a Agustina top from the fabric store. I absolutely adore this pattern. It feels very comfy. As you can see, it's already quite short. It's fine, I don't mind showing my upper tummy, but you know, it's already on the shorter side, so I'm really happy I salvaged the hem and kept as much length as possible. But so I went with the little contrasting element on the cuff, so on the tiny sleeves. And yeah, what else to say? I'm going to show you the tag I've used. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's super cute. But yeah, extremely happy with this. I'm sure I'm going to wear it a lot more than I was wearing the dress. So looking forward to taking this one out and about. Next up for me today, I'm hanging the laundry, I'm going grocery shopping, house admin things, and then I'll come back to sewing. I want to sew the poppers on my bed sheets, and then that's finished for everything I wanted to achieve today. Now, if I have time, I'm going to start on tomorrow, where I'm going to start the toile for the wedding dress. I think today is going to be a cutting tracing day. If I have time, I'll even start on the shirt, because that I need to stick the whole pattern together. So we'll see how far we get, because I'm in charge of dinner and Milo this evening. But yeah, just wanted to show you this. Progress of the morning. 3 things ticked off. I'm gonna start with the path of least resistance and do the poppers on the bed sheets. So Noémie, how is the sewing as much as possible since yesterday going? Well, yesterday, already coming up with excuses. So yesterday I sewed everything I showed you, and then I was feeling that my brain was having a bit of a moment and I was thinking of a lot of things and I needed to try to stop the thought cycle. So I went for a walk, I went grocery shopping, I baked some cookies, I really tried everything to kind of like calm my brain. By the time I finished the cookies, it was basically time to go and take Milo out, so I did that. And in the evening I didn't feel like going back to sewing. I just started to stick together the pattern for shirt number 4, which is going to be the shirt that I make for Francesca. So that was yesterday, so I didn't sew anything else yesterday for the list. And then today, I'm not going to lie, it's actually 4 p.m. now. What happened today? I got up, I had to take Milo out because I was doing the morning today, and then I did my workout with Trainwell, and that was all my plan, to do my workout in the morning so that I could wash my hair in the morning, because at lunchtime I had my goodbye lunch with my ex-colleagues. And yeah, that obviously took a little bit of time, and then I came back and I kind of wanted a moment of quiet and I didn't want to start sewing straight away, so I finished sticking together the pattern for Francesca's shirt. Now what's crazy is that I printed this pattern in color as well before I knew I would get a projector, or before I even had projectors on my mind at all. And so I was sticking this thing and I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this, I have a projector. But I just feel like I have to use all of that paper I have printed, because otherwise it feels like such a waste. I will keep the talk about projector and how it's changed very radically my thinking about sewing. I mean, I think it's also just because I have such an output, and now that I sew so much, it feels like the time I spend sticking patterns together increased too much, too drastically. And also the way we trace at school is extremely long and tedious, and I think my reaction to that was finding the quickest way to do it at home. In any case, it's 4 p.m. The shirt pattern is all stuck together, but I'm only starting sewing for today. I can sew in the evening tonight, so I hope to still get a lot done, but I feel like there's also a bit of procrastinating because I'm a bit intimidated by the wedding dress I'm about to start. And there's no reason. I'm making a toile, and a toile is just what it is. It's a toile, so I don't need to make it perfect, but I can feel like being intimidated. I'm trying to procrastinate. So let's stop procrastinating and let's get sewing. Yeah, tidied around the office because it was getting very stressful. So I already tidied all of my school stuff. I made the million piles one pile. I Yes, I'm talking to someone, so you have to appear. Okay. I made the million piles. One pile, I put all my calico and project in my school bag. There's still my wife's shirt on the table. That's fine, we'll leave it there. And we had blankets that I'm trying to give to a shelter for like weeks, and no one's coming back to me. And yeah, I moved them because I was really sick of having them in the way. This is my tripod. This is literally my tripod. I put them on the table and then my camera's leveled with me. I have put my knitting back on my knitting pile. I like having it on the couch because I feel like it's easier to grab and that maybe I'm going to knit a little bit here and there. But the truth is, it just adds an extra layer on my couch. So now it's a bit, okay, I'm just going to tidy this actually. So I tried to do the bedsheet jobs of putting the poppers on the bed sheets, and what happened is that actually my popper tweezers, they don't have the right attachment for the plastic. My God, Milo, you really are big. Yes, I have a corgi sitting on me as usual. My pliers do not have the right end to do the plastic poppers. I thought it did, but then going back to look at the box, what it actually says is buy the extra tool to be able to do the plastic poppers. So I will need to buy the extra tool to do that, but what I've already done is those bed sheets that don't have poppers at the end, they kind of have a long end bit that is supposed to, I don't know what it's supposed to do and what you're supposed to do with it, but in any case, I've cut that long bit and I folded it over a few times so that the end of the bed sheet would be a bit thicker, because you're not supposed to put poppers on a single layer of fabric because it could rip with time. So now I have thicker layers of fabric at the end of my two bed sheets. It wasn't so much work, but it was so cumbersome to move it around and everything. I really did not enjoy that job. I did not do a really good job, but I was really like, at this point, done is better than perfect, and I just thought I just want to get it done. So that is now done. I will need to go and get the right tool to put the actual poppers on the bed sheets later on. Now I will just fold the laundry, and then I really need to get started on cutting that muslin dress. And to be honest, I'm trying to see why I'm resisting this so much, because I've really been, I mean, it's now 7 p.m. and I've been doing everything under the sun except this. Clearly I'm a bit worried about making this muslin and that nothing goes right, or I don't know what the fear is exactly. It's also because I'm going to use my projector, which I have never done before. So yeah, I think it's a lot, but if I can just get it cut tonight, that would really help. Originally, dress was one day on my list. Maybe I should just give up already on the list, because clearly the list was a bit too ambitious. But let's not talk about failure or not failure. If I do as much as I can, I will have done as much as I can, and that's fine. I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Really don't enjoy feeling like this. So I feel like the only way I can deal is by tidying. So I know I should cut the dress, but it's literally I can't, because I get the projector out and I'm like, oh, but where do I put it afterwards? And just decided I'm tidying, whatever, and I'll sew and I'll cut the things when my brain is ready to do so. So I decided that despite needing to cut the dress, I am going to now sort my patterns. This way, when I finish with the dress and the projector and the stress of using the projector properly for the first time, I can at least put it away, and at least the mess around me is a bit more limited. You will have already seen this. If you haven't seen me sort my patterns, this came out in the last video, in the Friday monthly vlog video. So you will not do this with me now, but if you've watched the last video, you've already seen it. So, okay, I have just finished sorting all of my patterns and it was a challenge. So yeah, maybe I just try to play with the calibrations. Maybe I just give myself a small task, which is look how it would be to use the projectors. Maybe that's a plan actually. See how the projector works. Feel comfortable with projector. This way tomorrow, cutting the dress, okay, I'm happy. I feel like I have something going on. 1, getting comfortable with projector. 2, cutting the dress and not cut the dress on a projector you don't know how to use. What about that? Okay, we have a plan. I'm feeling confident, more confident than I did a second ago. Let's fold the laundry and then look at the projector. Francesca's not there tonight, so Milo's waiting just behind the door for her to come back. We got somewhere, feeling a bit reassured for cutting the pattern tomorrow. Anyway, it's just a 12, so it'll be fine, And time to go to sleep. Well, first, time to take this one out. My God, what drama. Procrastinating. It's day 3. It's day 3. I really need to get my act together. I realize, I understand that I am stressed about making this dress, which is why I'm really digging my heels for this one. But it's there's no point just being stressed and not doing it. Also, my friend is coming for a fitting on Sunday, so I think it's going to be a question of ripping the band-aid. Hopefully it doesn't take that long to make. It's just a toile, and then after I've made this, I can move on and see what I have time to make. But I just find it a bit silly that this one dress is going to fail. I mean, it's between us, it's fine, it's not an important challenge, but I could probably have done a lot in this challenge, but digging my heels with this dress, maybe it was just not the right project to put in a challenge week like this. Starting is all we need. And I don't know if you have that. I need to feel like I have time in front of me, and I have something going on in the afternoon, and then I have dance at 7 p.m. And so I feel like I don't have enough time in front of me, but I'm still still have 2 hours now. Use the time, stop finding excuses. I'm really so silly with this. So I'm saying it to you, even though I can feel the judgment of your eyes, and I'm I can't look at you because I know I'm being silly and I know I'm procrastinating. But this is the truth. I'm procrastinating and I should just get to it. And I will. Next clip, I'm getting to it. No excuses. Oh, I really want it to go well. It's because I care. It's because I care I want it to go well. It's only because I care. So, how did the week go? This was a fun one to edit, I have to say. I thought I was going to have this glorious video where at the end I would have this pile of things and I would show you the pile of things and be like, look at everything I've sewn. This is not where we are at, but I feel like I have learned a lot this week anyway. And the first thing is that sewing is more than just sewing. And I think I could have done 5 garments in a week if everything was cut, if everything was stuck together, or slash now I have the projector, but I had to figure out how to use the projector, and I think all of that, ironing the swear word fabric, took so long. I kind of feel like a garment in a day is something I can do now. Obviously it depends on the garment, but you know, an average, not too extreme garment I could do in a day. But yeah, you need to have your fabric cut. Yeah, I kind of didn't take all of that into account. For shirt number 4, I started sticking the whole pattern together, which took an insane amount of time, and then in the end I cut it with a projector. So first learning is that sewing is more than just sewing. All the prep takes time, and I'm hoping that using the projector, the prep is going to take less time from now on, but it still takes time, and that's still something I had to discover the hard way during this challenge. And then also, to be honest, I think it was just not the right moment of the year for me to do this. I realized while doing the challenge how hard I had to push myself to sew. I did not want to. Knowing I was coming out of a week where I had a double exam day and then 4 days where I worked until almost 11 p.m. every single night because I had homework to hand out and I was a bit late on my homework, so I really had to like power through with the homework. Then I wanted shirt number 3 to be done, so I powered through with shirt number 3, and then I needed to film the video, edit the video and everything, and that week ended up being a massive sprint. But then coming out of that week, I wasn't feeling the most energized to do a challenge like I said to myself. So I think the timing was not ideal, which leads me to, I have finished the patina blouse. Yay! But I hated it. I don't want to give too much feedback on the patina blouse now. It was a difficult project, not because of the pattern, but because of the fabric I chose. And I will talk about it in my seasonal roundup, I think. I finished the patina blouse. I didn't finish it fully on Friday. I actually finished it on Monday, but I did a good amount of work on it on Friday. This is the end of my challenge week, so not such a success, but I think a great learning opportunity, which is good as well. And if I were to do this type of challenge again, I would make sure to do it in the right moment, with the right project. Also not with a wedding dress I'm making for a friend that is something I really want to make support. Like, it was just not the right project to have in this challenge week. If I were to do this type of challenge again, I would make sure that the conditions are more optimal for success. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, even though it wasn't quite the success story I was hoping it would be. I would really like to thank Sarah for tipping me a monthly coffee. Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm really happy to have you around here. Please give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to come back for more, and don't forget that you can make anything, but you might need to give yourself the time to do those things. Let's not forget that this is supposed to be enjoyable. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!